Now, of course, I warned everybody that this was the case, but this rather limp-wristed looking fella right here above my shoulder, right here, his name is Khalil Greene. Now, Khalil Greene, I don't know if it's a dude or a chick or what the fuck it is, but this dude was one of the young ticker-talkers that Joe Biden brought to the White House to indoctrinate. Well, he's kind of exposed some shit. I'm JB Gunner. This is JB Gunner TV. Let's do it.
Bring it back.
I love to say I'm right, and I was right, and I've always been right, and I'm going to be right tomorrow. TikTok star, briefed by the White House, admits he was used as a pawn when parroting the claims that Putin was to blame for soaring gas prices, and the rest of the influencers, well, they just stayed on the message. I told you, and many of us on the right, we knew it. That's all this was. They were using the TikTok celebrities as a way to spread their message. Joe Biden wants you to think that it's Putin that's the reason for the gas prices. Even though our gas prices were raising all the way up for a year since before Putin, right? The White House held a Zoom briefing for about 30 popular internet figures who promptly took to their social media accounts to begin talking about what they learned. Remember the broad we were laughing at and talking about? Now, Khalil Greene, who calls himself the Gen Z historian, you young little dumb motherfuckers. It's so insane to me to see young people think that they're smart. On TikTok, said a lot of his fellow social media stars seem to repeat exactly what the White House was saying. That's exactly right. That's what they do. And your generation tends to fall for it because you're not very smart. When I saw a lot of the conservative fallout from the event saying that people were being used as pawns by the White House, it is hard to argue against that, he says. The influencers also included Ellie Zeiler, which I talked about before, who had more than 10 million followers, who later did as she was asked with a pro-Biden clip. Now, this TikTok star attended the Biden administration's briefing about Ukraine, admitted that the cadre of Gen Z influencers were used as pawns, he says, his words, not mine, but said the ticker-talkers who took the White House press team's information at face value were to blame, of course. The White House held a Zoom briefing for about 30 popular internet figures. Khalil Greene, who calls himself the Gen Z historian, has about 540,000 followers, said that a lot of his fellow social media stars seemed to repeat exactly what the White House was saying. He goes on to say, when I saw a lot of conservative fallout from the event, saying that people were being used as pawns by the White House, it was hard to argue against that when the information being repeated about the session is just what we were told verbatim, without criticism. I had the assumption going in the other creators coming out, and that other creators coming out of this event would all have the same level of journalistic integrity and criticism in creating their content. I respect this man for saying this. There were definitely some who did, but a lot of them did not. And that disappointed me because it delegitimizes people's trust in our ability as ticker-talkers to be critical thinkers. That's exactly right. It does. We think, and you know what? I have to retract what I've said previously about this young man. This is a smart young man. He's a free thinker. He's doing his own thought process. But he's right. That's exactly what we think of you. We think that you all are just sheep that follow the leader. Greene, who claims that most of his audience are black people, indigenous people, and people of color from marginalized communities in the U.S., I bet, said that he asked how Americans could have be incentivized to support Ukraine given the imbalance of coverage given compared to issues like reparations for slavery. Of course, right? Greene said that Psaki noted that Putin's war was the biggest invasion since World War II and would have global consequences, but then made it seem like giving more attention and support to other crises was beyond their capacity. There was also a general lack of acknowledgement of the U.S. government's role in perpetrating other geopolitical issues. All the digital creators on the White House briefing gave a similar summary. that the administration was emphasizing its work with allies, the assistance it was offering to Ukraine, and how it was trying to prevent a bigger war. The influencers including Ellie Zeiler, which we previously talked about, where she posted on her profile, "Why is gas so expensive?" We went through all that. Zeiler did not shy away from the fact that she has been in contact with the Biden administration over the course of making the video. She basically said, "There's Ellie Zeiler. You remember us doing this video on this whore. Russia's one of the top 3 producers of oil, and it's blah, blah, blah." Well, we've already seen her video. She just repeated the talking point. Every bit of it. Did no research. Green said that Zeiler has gotten a lot of backlash and hate that was fueled by misogyny. Disagree. People were looking down on her as a young woman in this new space. Yes, because you're not smart people. You young people need to listen. Talk less, listen more. Especially because her content is mostly centered around dancing and fun. That's exactly why she shouldn't have posted the video. Perhaps she could have been a little bit more critical, maybe in terms of providing a different perspective, but I don't think what she did was wrong, he goes on to say. She said what she had asked the White House and what the White House responded. The ticker-talkers spread the Biden message after inflation last month revealed to have increased by 7.9%, the highest jump in 40 years. Obviously, Biden desperate to shift the blame. During the meeting, Zeiler and audio sourced by the Post could be heard asking about inflation and what it meant for the country and young people. Psaki placed the blame on a number of issues, including supply chain issues, the pandemic, and cost of energy. But when it comes to gas, she laid the blame squarely on Putin. Zeiler later told the Post that she was honored to take on the role of explaining complex situations to young people. Bitch, you don't understand the complex situation. How the fuck are you going to explain it to young people? I'll relay the information. These people are not smart people. Of course, then that jackass went and did the same. Putin's not responsible for all of that. All that inflation right there. It's been growing. The United States has provided a significant amount of militaristic as well as humanitarian aid to Ukraine. Vice News uncovered a coordinated campaign to pay Russian TikTok influencers to post videos pushing pro-Kremlin narratives. So for some reason, that is not okay. But it's okay if Biden does it with our TikTokers. Do you see how this shit works? You see how this always works? They always try to tell you that the other side is the side that pushes propaganda while simultaneously pushing propaganda. Now, let me explain to you who this Khalil Green is. He's exposing the truth. He's the first black student body president of Yale University.
About 2 years before I decided to run for student body president, Yale was started in 1701. Student government at Yale started in 1884, and then this current iteration.
Why do young men look so damn soft these days? But this is the guy right here.
Yale College Council started in 1976. So in all of that time, never having a black student body president, it's kind of it's jarring. And there was one main interview that was with Fox 5 DC, and that was with Sean Yancey. And I was really nervous to go on live television and give it, but I prepared a little bit beforehand. But those questions I prepared for, none of them were asked. So I just kind of had to wing it, but it was very comfortable and it was a very great experience. And then it was like the day after that is when it started to blow up. I saw it on like social media, on the Shade Room. I ended up getting contacted by Don Lemon's people and having an interview with him on CNN. So it kind of just exploded overnight. I feel like coming into the school year, getting to see people like really receiving their support in person, both from students and administrators, it's been such kind of like a smooth ride.
So there you go. There is the kid. Obviously a smart kid. Give him a little bit of credit. And he was smart enough to expose this for what it was. I still think that, you know, with him being young and leftist, it's not going to work out well for the kid. You can tell he's got some soy in his blood, right? I think that's obvious just by looking. But I have to appreciate the fact that he is not thinking like a sheep when it comes to this. He's calling it out. He's saying, no, man. Everybody's just following the line. Nobody's really doing critical thinking here. I got to give him some credit. The kid called it out. He exposes Biden and he's exposing the rest of the ticker-talkers. That's the way this shit works. And that's the way our youth is. They do what they're told. They don't actually look into anything. Most of the youth does that. I'm actually thankful for this kid. I'm thankful that this kid did the right thing. He made his own statement. He got his own opinion based on his own research. I'm sure there's a million things I disagree with this kid. A million things. Because usually the young and dumb, that's the way they are. But at least in this particular topic, with this issue, he was smart enough to think critically. And obviously, he's going to Yale. He's got a lot of education. I mean, it is what it is. The kid's not a dummy. And I can appreciate that. So shout out to this young man, Khalil Green, for taking the plunge, telling the people the truth about Biden and that whole ticker-tacker and the whole Russian-Ukraine thing. What does this mean? It means that our country is engaging in the very same thing that they accused Putin of in 2016. It's our propaganda to try to demonize Vladimir Putin. The same thing that they said that Vladimir Putin did with Hillary Clinton. How is Vladimir Putin bad for it if he did it, but yet you're not bad for it when you're engaging in the same lies and propaganda? Guys, I'm curious what you guys think in the audience in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. I got to give this little some credit. He told the truth. He called out Biden for his shit. And we all knew this was the way it was anyway. But we need more people, especially in the youth, Gen Zers and shit, to think like this kid. He's not the norm. That broad, that makeup and dance broad was the norm. This kid is not the norm. He's the one that thinks outside the box. And I got to give him some credit for that, even though he looks feminine and soft. I'm JB Gunner. This is JB Gunner TV. Guys, if you like what I do here and you want to support the channel, by all means, hit the links down below. We'll be live later tonight. You don't have to wait for them to support the channel. You can join the Gun Squad, support the channel, and all my work I do here down there below. Also, you can find the links to all my other channels because I'm constantly getting suspended or stricken, and so I'm always bouncing from place to place. Odyssey and Rumble is where you can see a good portion of my archive. I'm still adding parts of my past in my archive there, but that's where I back up all these videos just in case YouTube takes it down. Find all of them at all my links linked down below. All right, guys, I'll see you tonight on the live stream. I'm going to get up out of here. Peace out.